Jelly Spoons to Friday 5-minute facts here on Kohigh Mathy's YouTube channel, brought to you live via videotape from the orbital broadcast bunker. It's Britain's first and only airborne subterranean studio, and the joke being that these videos are rarely 5 minutes. This week we are looking at a survival horror game for the original PlayStation from Capcom. You can knock it off with tension building, they've read the tartlet video, lad. Dino Crisis is a survival horror video game developed and published by Capcom for the Sony PlayStation in 1999. It was directed and produced by Shinji Mikami, the creator of the Resident Evil series. Dino Crisis shares many similarities with Resident Evil, including its gameplay mechanics and fixed camera angles, but instead of zombies, it introduced dinosaurs as the main antagonist.
That's disgusting.
This guy's been eviscerated. Something tore his intestines straight out.
Now, did you know that the number of continues is much greater in the Japanese version compared to all other regional releases? Japanese players get 30 continues, whilst all others everywhere else got just 5. And also, according to the game's director/producer Shinji Mikami, in an interview published in PlayStation Magazine, he was asked if the way Dino Crisis would let you save your progress would be the same as the ink ribbon system in the Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 games, which limits the number of saves a player can make, contributing to the game's difficulty. Now he responded, "We're deliberating on that. In addition to save points, we're planning to add a continue system, but precisely how many continues to give, or whether or not to make them infinite or not, that's what we're currently struggling with. Since I want to convey the terrifying nature of these dinosaurs, it would feel really weird if you didn't die after 1 or 2 bites from a dino. But that also means that the slightest mistake on the player's part equals game over. On the other hand, if we let you redo the scenes over and over, it diminishes the terror, don't you think? Yeah, these game difficulty questions are, well, difficult." The game's story follows a Special Forces agent named Regina, who is part of a team sent to investigate a research facility known as Ibis Island. The facility is owned by a company called the Third Energy Corporation, which has been experimenting with time manipulation using a device called the Third Energy. Upon arrival, Regina's team quickly discover that the facility is overrun by aggressive dinosaurs, which were brought to the present era due to malfunction in the time manipulation experiment. Now, did you also know that according to the Capcom team, in the game's official Japanese guidebook, they were asked about the meaning behind the name of Ibis Island? Their response was, "The name of the ibis bird in Japanese is Tuki. Ah, it's homonym for time, you know. And we liked how the word resonated with the game's themes of extinction and time. We could possibly come up with a number of different explanations for the name, but basically we liked those associations. Also, considering the name of Raccoon City from Resident Evil, maybe there's just a lot of animal lovers on the team too." As Regina, the player must navigate the facility's various areas, solving puzzles and fighting off dinosaurs whilst uncovering the secrets behind the Third Energy project. The gameplay features a mix of exploration, combat and puzzle solving. The fixed camera angles and 3D generated backgrounds create a tense atmosphere, and the limited ammunition and resources add to the survival horror aspect of the game. Did you ever play Dino Crisis back in the day? If so, be sure to tell us your thoughts on the game in the comments section down below. And if you're new to Kohigh Mathy's YouTube channel, then welcome. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Leave us a comment, like the video and share it out with your nearest and dearest. You can also find us on most other social media platforms, so be sure to check us out there as well. Here's another fact for you. Did you know that according to the development team in the game's official Japanese guidebook, during the planning stages they had a list of dinosaur names that they wanted to include, and 2 of the dinosaurs that were on that list but unfortunately got left out of the game were the Triceratops and the Ankylosaurus.
In a 2020 interview conducted by the YouTube channel Archipel with series creator Shinji Mikami, he stated that Dino Crisis was not a project he had first created. There was a team within Capcom that was working on original projects, when one day the team's leaders suddenly quit working at the company, leaving the rest behind. They came to Mikami with a pitch for a game with a 3 to 4 member party system, which Mikami likened to a Dragon Quest game, and asked him what they should do now. In response, he took them under his wing and told them to do their best. Mikami's team initially brainstormed ideas together, but after struggling to find any good ideas, he asked each individual member to come up with their own ideas so they could decide on which one was the best to pick. At that point, someone from Capcom's graphics department had an idea for a game that took place in a locale similar to Skull Island from the 1933 film King Kong. Mikami thought that idea was new. There were not that many creatures inhabiting the island, but the only kind was dinosaurs, so they stuck to dinosaurs and applied a gameplay and camera system similar to the first 3 Resident Evil games to make what would become Dino Crisis.
Gale, you're still alive. Good timing.
In addition to the standard dinosaurs, players will also encounter more formidable creatures, including a massive Tyrannosaurus Rex and Velociraptors. To survive, Regina can use a variety of weapons such as handguns, shotguns, and even more exotic tools like a dart gun and stun grenades. The game also incorporates some elements of stealth, allowing players to avoid confrontations with dinosaurs if desired.
Right, now according to the Capcom team in the game's official Japanese guidebook, the game designers for Regina said her costume were inspired by Jessica Priest, played by Melinda Clarke from the 1997 film Spawn. After Regina's costume was finished, Rick and Gale's costume were created to match her design.
Dino Crisis received positive reviews upon its release, praised for its intense gameplay, atmospheric environments and challenging puzzles. The game's graphics, sound design and engaging storyline were also well received. Dino Crisis spawned 2 sequels, Dino Crisis 2 in 2000 and Dino Crisis 3 in 2003, which introduced new gameplay elements and continued the story in different settings. However, the franchise has been dormant since then, with no recent releases or announcements.
Right, now according to a 1999 interview with the Capcom team, published in the game's official Japanese guidebook, I'll have you know, the game stated that the code for the locker with the shotgun parts was written on a memo next to a dying researcher. Now this was done out of necessity and was needed for the game's flow. They'd experimented with her holding several different things in that scene. Originally she was going to be clutching a memo with Kirk's ID number written in blood as a hint to the player about who killed her.
And finally, in Japan, Regina has a very cute pre-rendered model in the inventory screen, but in the USA release she was redrawn to make her look tougher.
Yeah, well that about wraps up this week's Friday 5-minute facts. We hope you've enjoyed our little look at Dino Crisis.
If you have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Please be sure to click the like button, leave us a comment down below and share this video out with people who you might think will enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching and we shall see you next week.